call me Fuego. 93 like me. Fire in the sheets, spending summers on the sea. It's okay though, no way home. Better feel life on a day.
Playing back. Going to be coming back off to the side of this one. You can see it's going to be Comets making the early drop. Looks like they're going to get control over Kameshki, playing the hillside around Stalber, whereas KEKW look like they might be making that push over towards Stalber itself, maybe getting the top of that. Whenever we look at this, unless you're a military-based team, it's not going to be too detrimental for you. So looking through on everything, it's really just going to see if we're going to have any contestions and drop. Usually most of these teams already figure out how they're going to be making their drop patterns before they come into this, so it's not anything too scary. But a couple of times we've got two different teams that decide, hey, I want to make sure that I claim this. I put my foothold in here. And whenever we're having three different groups, so that means the fact that we have 8 teams in each one of these groups playing it through, sometimes it gets a little bit hairy as they're bumping into each other. And Lippo looks like it might be one of the places out of everywhere having a contested Lippo drop. Fairly surprising.
Apologies about that. I might be back if you can still hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah, it looks like once again, I mean, the playing paths were very forgiving yesterday, at least more so than day one. Did have a couple of overlaps on initially on drop spots, but it didn't seem to be apparent. And starting things off well today. Thanks for joining me, mate. Bringing the fun circles back.
Oh, and here we go. Plane path nowhere near military base, and then dropping down into it. Gas cans feeling really good as well as 300. KEKW does have one of their members down nitrogen. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see anything coming out of that.
I think they're going to try and play to the underside of that rock to maybe get ahead of hard shifts. Really nothing but open terrain there to try and mount an attack on the compound. As Comet's actually looking to pull up on the remnants of KEKW here.
Just sends it directly in. Quick exchange. PK lines up onto Hwinn. Now looking back into Talitive's position. Gotta be a little bit careful. It's gonna be reinforcements rolling through the hillside. Yaxley's trying to line it up. Monty, him being the last member, still alive. Monty goes down as well. Comets were the ones that were rolling through this one, and they do manage to take down KEKW Akirs, but they lost a lot in that exchange. Yaxley being the last one alive.
Yeah, literally comes down to one gas cans with perfect sight lines to punish all these knocks as well and lay down some additional damage. See, will Yaxley be able to reset? Actually, yeah, Zenith with a sight line onto this as well from the high ground. You can see just Poonage and Honey Badger that have moved up here. Shimboy and Sparking still trying to play anchor. It's just outside this zone to the south, and Fabled finally trying to make their cross, and Rumblers are waiting, foaming at the mouth for these kills now.
This is rough if you're a Fabled fan. You're just seeing them try to swim across. There's no options to work with. Rumblers have the complete coastline under control. Not a lot of options for them. Looks like they are starting to get a little bit of a touch, trying to get into position, getting a little bit of damage. Hell, it does hit a shot on the Valiate. That might provide enough time for maybe some more support to come through. She's going to have to met up pretty quickly as well. The smokes have gone down, provide a little bit of cover on both sides. Now having a juke through, it's going to be SONIQS that gets vision on everything that's going on the coast. Now starting to harass the Rumblers.
SONIQS kind of pulling them away from those angles as Zenith will actually find some kills, trying to gatekeep the edge of military here. ATC just trying to set up to the south of Veritas. And I mean, take one look at the minimap here. You can see how many teams are actually going to move on foot here. So definitely going to be some casualties down on the southwest side also.
It feels like ATC is a grenade range from 3 different teams, and they have to play this so carefully. Houston Hardship still trying to make their move forward, but TSM did get that inside track onto him, harassing him as they go, and look at that. It's D-Treats, Chubba, and J-Sank all down back-to-back very quickly, so now it's going to be a lot more problematic. Only one member of Hardships is up with not a lot of options. Loeb's trying to fight his way through this one, but it's too many angles. 300's up above him. Gets a spray onto a second one, tries to line it up. He's trying his hardest to survive, but he's out of position and is going to go down to the blue zone. But man, he put up one hell of a fight.
How did Lobes get both of those kills? He actually got both of them before falling. That was absolutely insane. I mean, the third party from TSM was perfect as Hardships tried to push up the hill here. Now will get themselves a little bit of space to work with. Penta outside the zone. Luke 12 still outside the zone as well. So it'll be difficult for them. Fabled down to 1 member now. And actually, Sneak Attack going to find Valiate inside the smoky. Rumbler's only able to pick up 3 kills so far, but potentially going to find the last onto Fabled.
This is how they're trying to push through these smokes. Yeah, they just can't seem to find the angles to keep themselves safe, and Valiate is going to go down with this one. Waldo tries to get a little bit of vengeance, but doesn't want to overcommit. Keep in mind, we do have 3 different teams that are taking shots at the Rumblers right now, and that's going to be No Cap, Gravity, as well as SONIQS. So they have to be extremely cautious on every single move that they make.
Yes. I mean, need to deal with this pseudo. Did Cherry see him? Yeah, he did. He scoped into just to check that here, but they need to do this quickly. They need to deal with sneak attack because they need to start wrapping towards the south. Gravity set up inside. They go. He will find that kill. SONIQS again laying down fire in this direction, but Rumblers now.
Where do you go?
Pressure of the blue. I mean, they have to move on foot. They have to clear their way through gravity. We know that they swam across. They're not going to have any vehicles to make this rotation.
TSM trying to make a rotation of their own, pushing into Veritas's territory. You can see Michael's got a line up in this one, but Alo's got the fancy feet trying to stay alive. Jukes through a lot of it, but still has to continue moving forward. Jazza being the front line defense coming up for Veritas. Going to go ahead and reposition, move out, get back over with the teammates, try to line up a little bit, but you can see Ascendance is also trying to make their cross from the bridge at the same time. Suddenly, it's Veritas finding themselves with a plethora of enemies all around them, trying to figure out how to handle it. Michael goes down in a quick move as it's going to be Maji that lines up into the position. TSM is also using this opportunity to make their way forward as Ascendance does manage to get themselves a nice little bit of a trench to play from. Michael goes down in this one, and Veritas is spread out, but has to be very careful. There's now 3 different teams, TSM, Ascendance, and ATC, all vying for that spot.
Penta has just been chilling in the blue for the last, like, 10 minutes, it feels like, as Nork is actually going to find a nice knock on the Danny G here to another weaken Veritas even further. Penta, I think, is actually just biding his time here to make a move once his teammates get into position. There you go. Actually going to find a knock onto Icy Flex. That's going to put ATC down to 2.
You can see any trolls in chat now having to deal with Penta back behind and making the sacrifice play for TSM, trying to harass as much as possible, but does go down. Marslick lines it up. So that's going to open up a little bit more movement for everybody from this position, most notably ATC, but you can see Grenade starting to come through, rolls right over next to Ethan, does some damage, but doesn't take him down. He's just having to hunker down behind this rock, and you can see everything's going wrong around him. TSM's making the push up the hillside, but now has to set their eyes over into ATC's positioning. New circle pops, and it's going to center up on everything, so all of this edge fighting is just going to continue.
This TSM already posting 5 kill points again, now in the scenario where they want to just put as many up as they can. Again, the chances of them actually getting into a winnable spot here, so expect Kerr and Alo to push full force onto Norkis and Masterlek uphill here. Veritas as well, looking out. So Ascendance actually managed to spread here, keep 4 alive on that rotation, as you said, across the bridge. Do some real damage to the ones inside the circle.
They're pretty close to the safe zone as well, so they don't have to make any heavy commitments at the time unless they want to move into Veritas and maybe try to gatekeep them or just assault their positioning. We do note the fact that Gas Cans is playing around the other side of this one, but Ascendance goes ahead and spots it out. Zealot with a little bit of a sneaky play lines up into Danny G as well. You gotta line that one up, and Veritas goes down pretty cleanly. Ascendance playing this one very smooth.
I mean, they're in a position now where they've got the time to set up to potentially feast on these kills as well between TSM and ATC.
ATC is trying to find this one out. Did spot out Alo. So there you go. It's going to be the other side of it coming through, as it's going to be Sock gets the line into Purdy Curdy, and TSM goes down in 10th. Now it's going to be ATC trying to make a move. Should have the distance away from Ascendance, but it's really about how Maji is trying to get this lineup and this other positioning away from them. So ATC still has to be careful, but do note, on the other side of this hill, you know, that road where it runs through, and then there's those housing compounds that's just to the south of this. We have a little bit of a situation going on over there, as well as Gas Cans and TS are both playing that position. So both of these teams are going to have to contend with where they're set up at the time. As once they cross the top of this hill, it's going to be a lineup of teams that can take shots at them.
ATC actually look as if they've got a decent read on where Ascendants are looking to play towards, but T-Sock actually swinging very low on the hill. I don't think they're going to be expecting this off angle, or at least somebody hugging the blue this hard as it closes in. Get open sightlines. There you go. Will open up onto Mustang. Mustang actually going to come out on top of that one, though, landing a headshot.
Beautiful shots coming up from Marslick in a very pivotal time, but there are a ton of Ascendance members trying to make the commitment into this one. Maji's trying to creep up into it, but he's seen not lining up just yet. Zealot's trying to find a peekaboo battle around this rock. Can't line up onto Norkis, but Norkis has an idea on where he's at. Goes for the shots between them. Both do a little bit of a quick exchange. While this is going on, Gravity does go down at distance, but Zealot's still just trying to hold this one out. Grenade's going to run through, and look at this, just choosing to run underneath of it. Assaulting right up into their face. Cresting up, not going to matter in the end. He gets spotted out in Ascendance. Still maintaining control, now up to 7 kills on this hillside.
I think actually going to have a little slice of this hill to play from. To play for really a little more control so that the other 3 members, I guess, can try and prevent SONIQS from making this rotation. Ascendant's now going to hop into vehicles, look for something. Actually going to opt to send it straight towards the compound here.
Oh, True Sight's got to hold this one up. Lining up, gets a little bit of damage, but doesn't get any knocks on this approach. Very Vibes trying to line up the grenade for this one, but you can see it somehow managing to find a clean path into it. Grenade finally going to connect off that low underhand toss moving in. Zealot still playing back behind this one. Maji's in kind of a safe position, so they might lean into going for this. It all depends on how the defensive line comes through. Very content now to get this positioning off of it. But while this is going on, SONIQS is capitalizing off of this distraction because it was going to be True Sight that had vision on the rotation. So now SONIQS moving in, finding themselves a spot along that hillside you were talking a second ago.
And actually going to keep a 2-2 as well. So M1ME and Tiggleton around to the north. I guess conscious of Zenith still playing split, but Raven now going to try and get Magi back on his feet. There you go. Honey Badger will fall. Now we know he was off in the distance from the rest of Zenith, and him getting picked off is going to remove some information, or the ability to attain that information, at least in the end game here for Zenith.
It's pretty much two fights that are going on right now. Everything that's happening in the housing compound. Arson steps down, tries to get the spray into Zealot, finally does manage to get it, but the cost was pretty high. Down to 1 HP, has to drop down into this one. The rest of True Sight trying to see if maybe they can make a play to support what's going on, but it's going to be right as it Sinitz makes their play into this. Arswin now the last one up for his squad, outside of the safety of the home that he was trying to hold down, goes for the Molotov, crashes into the roof. That's going to do anything to give away his position. Going to have to be careful with it, and there we go, Ascendants. Somehow continuing to fight their way through another very dangerous situation.
As Gascan's just chilling its forward, watching all of this unfold from the other side of the street here. Gonna hold on to the compound for as long as they can until the blue forces them out. Again, with this circle closing in, I guess even if this one centers up, they might only have the edge of Adams to play for. And actually, it's going to pull slightly to the north, so completely removing everything from Gascan's. Now in a position where they have to make the decision, do they play out early or try and hold on to these kill points on Magi and Zraven? They can't leave them there to backstab them. I'm actually going to catch an audio cue here, spring the trap, and we'll find Poonage.
That is an extremely pivotal play, as Zenith now can't keep eyes into Gascan's positioning. Instead has to focus up into SONIQS on this move. So Zenith trying to creep around into this one, find some type of opportunity. Gascans might choose to kind of backstab into this position. Shinboy down to near on no life. They start to be tossed between the two of them. You can see Sparking still holding the low positioning on this hillside. So M1ME and the rest of SONIQS getting control over the high side of the hills, but it's going to be Zenith that has to be ridiculously cautious. Gascan's not moving yet. Doesn't want to make their opportunity because they know exactly where Zenith is and is trying to take shots into where they saw Sparking make their move. Ascendant's on the other side of this. Doesn't care. They've got their smokes down. Going to go ahead and try to send it through. Shrimzy's going to be trying to hold the lineup. Vehicle's going to be rolling right past him. He's trying to cook the grenade. Did he get it right? Just a little bit too low, but doesn't matter. He lines up, takes down Zraven, gets the shots on Magi as well, and he holds down the defense in the west.
That is absolutely huge from Shrimzy. And elsewhere, the three-man from SONIQS will push on, clean up the remnants of Zenith. Now SONIQS in a perfect position to gatekeep Gascans. Actually, Heikerman and Nikos get fairly close up within utility range of Shrimzy, making perfect use of this distraction run by Ascendants trying to get onto the hillside. But Adam did fall. No chance of the res coming through, so they've got to play this one as a 3v4.
I love this. Shrimzy realized the threat, retreated, moved onto the other side of the hill where the rest of the team can provide reinforcements. The rest of SONIQS are separating out. You can see Hwinn pushing down the hillside to the south, trying to find a new angle. Shrimzy underhand tossing a grenade yet again, just trying to see if he can deny a little bit more from Gascans. Those footsteps and the things that Shrimzy is hearing right now, he can feed over the other teammates, most notably M1ME, trying to get a new position around this and could creep down the hillside, but it looks like he doesn't want to overextend, but might find two threats very quickly. Spots out one, looks back over into it, gets a quick line on Nikos, gets the damage into it. We don't see Shrimzy make the play yet because it's going to be Tiggleton rolling up back behind to provide support in M1ME's position. Grenade's going to connect. Beautiful toss onto this one. Now Gascan's in a world of trouble, having to figure out how they're going to handle this high side of the hill. Shrimzy still playing the other side of it, takes a quick shot, spots it out, but it's going to be Eichmann that gets a nice beat onto it. Each one playing the other side, has to start creeping up the hillside, but Tiggleton looks like he's found an opportunity, wants to get the flush onto it, knows the fact that he can creep up into this position. H-Man's got vision on one, gets the spray, gets him down, but he goes down as well. Heikerman, the last one up for his team, looking around the top of the hillside, knows that approach could be coming from anywhere. I'm just on the other side of this one, decides to take out Shrimzy, deny any more information that's coming, but it's going to be Heikerman versus two still up for SONIQS. It's going to be a contestant up the top of the hill, spots it out, tries to go for it, but it's going to be SONIQS walking away with our first round of the day, 11 kills strong.
Yeah, really, really good finish there. I got to shout out Shrimzy once again, being in a position where he can play defensively enough on the Ascendants pulling up. Again, misses the nade, still connects on the first spray, but single-handedly eliminating the other threat that was going to be somebody backfilling SONIQS' position, whilst the other three-man clean out the remnants of Zenith. Just really, really well calculated by SONIQS there. The setup is absolutely perfect.